Welcome to my video on the drawing of the Pensive Mandala. This one I actually ended up drawing differently than I've recently done my other ones. I penciled in the initial outline of the larger shapes, as you can see I'm doing right here. Then I inked in those larger shapes. And then from there I actually ended up penciling in all the patterns before I inked in any of them. This actually I found was easier because it allowed me to bring a more cohesive patterns throughout the whole thing. Like I wouldn't draw one pattern one day and then go back and draw a new pattern, 2 or 3 days later. This way it was all done relatively close together, so I felt like it wasn't so scattered, and it just felt like it flowed better. It was all part of one mandala. I actually prefer this creative process to my other ways. Glad I tried it out, and I definitely will be doing that again. And so once I actually did the penciling in, I went back and I inked in all of the patterns of this mandala. So yeah, it flowed so much more better. And even when I was inking it in and I saw it come out, start coming to life, it felt a lot more cohesive and worked together. I remember when I finished inking it in though, I remember looking at this going, holy cow, that there's a lot of ink on here, and I'm not sure that the color I plan on putting in here is actually going to stand out. I was a little concerned at first because, as you can see, just as I'm finishing up here, that there is a lot of black on there, and I was looking at this going, wow, I really hope that the color is going to pop out. No worries though, definitely did. So yeah, I drew this mandala knowing I was going to put some color to it. So my patterns that I chose, I made sure that there was lots of white spots so that I could definitely color it in. And when I started coloring it in, I was so excited because it felt like a coloring book, and I just wanted to put color down and just see it come out and start working together. So this one I was really excited to work on. The color palette that I chose, I did have an idea of what I was going to do. So I chose 7 different colors, and each of the shades I actually had a light and a dark of that color. So as you can see while I'm doing this, while I'm coloring this in, I actually go back and forth between the lighter and darker shade of that color as I'm coloring in all the pieces. And this actually really helps bring some depth to the color, because Prismacolors are so soft, and I find that if you really want that really thick colored line and have no white spaces while you're coloring it, that you have to press extremely hard and use up a lot of your pencil, and you end up spending most of the time actually sharpening the pencil instead of actually coloring. So with doing the 2 different colors, you just lightly shade in on the first layer, and then you go back with the next, or a different shade of the same color, do another layer, and then you do another layer on top of that. I also used a colorless color pencil to help mix in the colors, so that it just becomes one actual color instead of the 2 different shades. I also used white as well to mix the 2 colors together, so that it would just bring it would give it a bit lighter shade to it. So I used that at certain times depending on the effect that I was going to. And I found by doing this with the 3 different layers that one, it saved my hands from a lot of pressure, pushing down a lot to get that really thick, beautiful color. And it also saved the lead. I didn't have to sharpen as much. And then on top of it, I found that the colors were just that much more vibrant with the different colors all mixed together. This technique of doing this with the Prismacolors though is new for me, so I'm going to be going back and trying it again on a new mandala and perfecting the technique. But this initial go, I really liked the product. And the actual initial colors that I thought it was going to turn out to be, like what the dominant color was going to be, wasn't actually what it ended up to be. because as I choose the different colors to put in the various places, I go by what feels right. You know, like, oh, this looks like it'll really bring out the sharpness of this pattern here, and I don't really want this to stick out too much, so I'll use this color. And it was a lot of back and forth and trying to figure out what I really wanted to be dominant on this piece. And so the final product I love. It was absolutely amazing. And I just feel like it's very vibrant, and the whole process I definitely loved, and I really like using the colored pencils. Thanks for watching, and check out my other videos. Bye.